Okay, we just left the apartment and we are at this outside restaurant to get something to eat for breakfast. There's Donald and Sabina and Patrick looking at the menus. And we're eating outside. That's one thing I always liked about Berlin, outside cafes.
They have the same breakfast that they have on the Autobahn. What's the champignons?
Mushrooms.
Mushrooms. Okay. But we can say without mushrooms.
All right. This is where I lived when I was in the Army. This is HHC Barracks. That was my room. John Moore lived here, and John Moore was there and I was there. And this is the old barracks. Oop. That was the entrance to headquarters and headquarters company. It's a hotel now. Let's see, what is the name of it? Clipper Garden Home, Berlin Steglitz. It's a hotel. And this was the parking lot. Patrick, Donald, and Sabina are sitting over there waiting for me. This is a significant place for me because this is where I lived when I lived in Berlin 20 years ago. All these trees have grown up so much you can't see across them anymore, but over there is the old what is it? The old building where 42nd Engineers was. But you can't see it like you could before when I lived here. These trees were tiny little things. And over, down there is the entrance to Company B barracks, I think they were. It's completely different now, but it still has a lot of memories for me. Because this was my home. This was my home when the Berlin Wall came down. Okay, I'm going to turn this off. I'm going to go over there and see if I can see the headquarters and service company barracks where we moved to. I lived over here for about 2 or 3 months, I don't know, and then they moved us over to a building over there behind those trees, which I'm going to go see if I can get. I heard that it was torn down, but I'm going to find out pretty soon. This is where I lived when I met him. That guy right there, Patrick. And there's Donald, and there's Sabina, Patrick's wife. I can't hold the camera very still. They're waiting for me. Anyway, I'm going to go over there with them, and we're going to walk over to the other place. Okay, this is just around the corner, I guess, from Company B barracks. You probably will never recognize it because the place where Donald is at and this area between him and me, it's grass now, was a road that connected to this road, which is fenced off now. As a matter of fact, here's part of where the road came out. You can see the old the edge of it turning in there, right there. And it goes up underneath the dirt and it's grass, but that used to be a street. And there is my old barracks. It's not anywhere close to what it looks like now because they tore it down and built something brand new. It's a huge brick building, but it used to be white. Well, the building that was here before this used to be white. Over there is the chow hall. And right across, let me come down there. Okay, I'm at the end now. This street went all the way through there. That is where the chow hall's at. The bus stop to Truman Plaza was right here, behind that tree. They dug it all out. That street used to go all the way across from here to where that white car is. And the bus stop for the shuttle to Truman Plaza was right here, next to the 42nd Engineer Company building. But you can't see it all because the trees have overgrown it. That was the chow hall, and that was that glass. Oops. That glass area was the chow hall, and at the end of it was the barracks. And I can't get over there now. But there is another barracks over here that mirrored it. It looked exactly like it, and that one wasn't torn down. Right here. So that is what my barracks looked like when it was still standing. This is another barracks. It wasn't the one I lived in, but the one I lived in looked just like it. It is totally different now. Totally different. And this is heading back towards HHC. And this green wire fence was never here. When I lived here, it was just all open. Okay, this is Finkenstein Allee. This is the road that I lived on when I was here in the Army. It's the corner of Finkenstein Allee and Teklastrasse. And our barracks came up to the corner of these two streets. That used to belong to the U.S. Army. That was part of the Army base that I lived on when I was stationed here. And it goes down that way towards the main gate. That fence there with the bars on the top was the fence to our caserne. And it goes all the way to the main gate up there, which we'll go to in a little bit. And over along there someplace was the speakeasy. I don't remember exactly where it was because it's not there anymore.
The speakeasy was...
I don't remember where it was.
You see the white car parking?
Way up there?
Mm-hmm.
It was that far up?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll walk by it when we walk up there. But there was another place down here I used to go. Called the Finkenkrug, and it was down along here somewhere. It might be there. Okay. I thought it was down that way, but I could be wrong. There's a place up here that might be it, with that red bear standing in front. We'll go see what that is. Maybe that's it. Alright, that building right there is the speakeasy, or it was the speakeasy. That's where I met you, right? First time I saw you. It's a insurance agency now. It was number 56, right? I think that's 56.
Yeah.
Okay, and this is the sidewalk going back towards the main gate to Andrews Kaserne, which is right up there. There's the bus stop. It used to be the 3 bus. I don't remember what it is now. We're going to walk up there and we're going to see it. Alright, this is the old Andrews Kaserne. This is the old MP station. We used to come through the gate here and show them our ID cards right here. Right now, there's a guy in there from the Bundesarchiv. I asked him if it would be okay if I walked in there and filmed, because I used to live here 20 years ago and he wouldn't let me in, but he said I could film here. And that's good enough. That's okay. You can't see much anymore because that there used to be the guards where the MPs let cars in and out. And during the first war with Iraq, we used to do guard duty right out here in this parking lot. There used to be a tank parked right there where the stop sign is, facing towards the gate. And then all the cars went in there and snaked their way through, and me and all my buddies had M16s on our backs and mirrors looking underneath every car that came in here for bombs or whatever they might have had. We never found any. And that's the other end of that building. We used to have the flag raising ceremony and raise the American flag up there every morning. I didn't do it every morning, but I did it sometimes. This is the exit where we came out when we drove. That way led us in. We went around that way and went back up that road. That road up there leads to the place where I filmed earlier, where the chow hall was and the other barracks to Company B and HHC. And this, if it still came all the way through, it would come out over here. Of course, it doesn't anymore. And this is the road that goes out to Finkensteinallee. And over there is the speakeasy, which we just filmed a little while ago. Those are the 2 towers at the gate. That is the old towers from when this used to be a Kadettenanstalt. I'm going to go outside here and film towards it. Dankeschön. Alright, this is across the street from the old army base, Andrews Kaserne. That is the entrance to Andrews Kaserne, Finkensteinallee 63, Berlin, Germany. I did a lot of going in and out that gate. There's Donald and Patrick and Sabina. The corner of Finkensteinallee and Kadettenweg. And that there is the old NCO club. Friendship pub is what they called it. And this here was a little Turkish imbiss stand. We used to always come in here and get doner kebabs, or I used to always get schnitzel sandwiches with Knoblauchsoße and eat them. They were They were cheap and they were really close. Down that road is the Speakeasy, and this was the road, Kadettenweg. We used to walk all the way, me and Pete used to walk all the way to the end of this road. At the end of it is the S-Bahn station, Bahnhof Lichterfelde West, where we used to catch the train to go to downtown Berlin. Or sometimes if we didn't feel like walking down there, we would catch the 3 bus here at the corner. At that H is a Bushaltestelle, which is a bus stop. And we would go down Finkensteinallee that way to Zundgauer Strasse, which is the stop before Lichterfelde West, and we would get on the train there. Oh, I wanted to go inside so bad. The guy wouldn't let me in. He would not let me in there. Okay, this is all. It's been 20 years since I've been here, but I still feel like I'm home. Hasn't changed a whole lot. Well, behind that building it did, but not here. Alright, that's it.